Welcome back to the Pick 199 podcast, episode 51. I'm here with Muzzy,
Hey.
Seiko, and Coxie D.
Hey.
So this week we have the NFL game week. What are we up to? Game week
5.
Jesus, sorry. And without further ado, let's start off with the Bills beating the Chiefs 38 points to 20.
Tell you what, Chiefs are in struggle street at the moment.
They are struggling hard. I mean, the Bills
are red
a
hot.
tough opponent, but the Chiefs just aren't what they were the last few years. We just don't look anywhere near it.
Mahomes just, I don't know. They just can't seem to generate much offense that they've been in the last year, and they seem to be just letting in points everywhere.
Yeah, 100%. Look, I don't know what's going on with it. Do you reckon it's like a bit of fatigue that's starting to set into that team? Like doing the same thing week in, week out. Like it's just they haven't doesn't look like they've changed anything up from what they've done the last few years. So
yeah, I think also a lot of players got paid this year too, which I don't think always helps the organisation. But I think they should be a lot better than what they are.
Absolutely.
Regardless of all that.
Well, it's what we expect of them to be better than what they're playing.
But hard to maintain that top peak performance, especially when you look and we compare it to what Brady and Belichick have managed to do. It's not that easy.
Yeah,
and we're starting to see that now. This is who we thought were going to be the next Brady Belichick sort of setup. Proving how hard it is.
Absolutely. I mean, Mahomes is still like a very young quarterback too. So, I mean, I think probably a bit of like a bit of losing won't hurt him. That'll help him grow as a player. But from there, we don't know what.
Awesome result for the Bills, but they just continue to look forward. They look like they're really taking control of that division, I think, though.
Well, that's it. It's not like. And that's no knock on the Chiefs too, because they lost to a decent side. Like it's not like they lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars or something. They lost to the Buffalo Bills, who made it all the way to like the semifinals last year. So, good win for the Bills. And with that, let's jump across to Dallas Cowboys 44 over the New York Giants 20. Coxie.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you could see that happening with the injuries we had. Like, we went into the game without some star wide receivers, and then on top of that, in the game, Saquon, does something to his ankle, rolls his ankle. I didn't really stick around long enough to listen to what happened. And then a couple of plays later, Danny Jones just got knocked out. So I just flicked it off. You'd see what's going to happen there, especially with the way Dak Prescott's been and the Cowboys have been playing. I was hoping we could maybe do some damage considering how we sort of came back and got the OT win over the Saints. But yeah, that was far away out of reality for what happened.
It's tough when you lose your first string quarterback to.
Yeah, well, that's it. He rushed it
and you're running back that won the game for you last week.
Yeah, and the run back too. And Saquon is he just gives so much for the offense that we've got. I mean, just knowing that, he's on the field allows Danny just to sling the ball because they're sort of trying to stop the rush, but they got to choose one. So, I think when those both, the quarterback and the running back were down, I thought, well, this is going to be a tough game.
It's going to be a long game, yeah.
Yeah, so, but, good on Cowboys. They got the points on the board and, they're looking red hot, I think.
Dak's still doing the job, yeah.
And it looks like Cowboys are actually going to progress through to maybe some finals football this year.
They might face off against the Philadelphia.
They've got enough wins already to win that conference.
What was that, Seiko?
They've already got enough wins to take out the conference.
Someone might actually go positive in that conference.
That time someone did.
It'd be nice. It'd be lovely. It's been a long time.
And then it will no longer be.
Someone that watches a lot of games in that conference.
Yeah. It will no longer be the tank division. It will be Cowboys and the tank division.
And the tank division. The Cowboys and whoever's left.
Cowboys and others.
Yeah. You know that second place team's not making the wild cards.
No, very
I don't
good.
know. We might. We
Okay,
might also not make that wild card spot.
moving on, we had the Arizona Cardinals 17 over the San Francisco 49ers 10. Arizona won 5 straight games for the longest streak since 2015.
And Murray just looks unstoppable, eh? Like he just
insane.
He's an early shout for the MVP this season. This kid's playing out of their mind, and wherever he's going, it feels like the rest of the team is following him. But who had the Cardinals after week 5 being undefeated? Like it was just no.
I think we would have had them like what same sort of record as what the 49ers have, like a 2-3.
Maybe the reverse, 3-2, but not 5-0.
Oh, even then, I would have thought probably 2-3 based on what they've produced the last few years. Like,
yeah,
I don't think they've made it out of their group stage for a while. So, no, good signs for the Cardinals, and we said this would be a test for them this week too against the 49ers, who haven't looked great, but haven't looked bad either. So,
yeah.
Good win for the Cardinals. Moving on, we had the Chicago Bears 20 over the Las Vegas Raiders 9. I think that loss that the Raiders had last week to the Chargers has really sort of just stumped them a bit in terms of progression, but it's a professional sport. You should be able to move on from losses like that quickly.
Yes, no, it's the Raiders looked good at the start. They looked like they'd beaten quite a couple of high teams, and then they sort of stumbled a bit.
Fizzled out a bit.
I think it's starting to show now. Good signs for the Bears. They announced that their current quarterback's going to be starting for the rest of the season, by the looks of things. Whose name escapes me at the moment.
Justin Fields, I think.
That's the one. So he'll be starting the rest of the season by the looks of things. So it's a good sign for the Bears. He's played really well. And I think if they want to go forward, they'll probably want to go forward with him.
Yeah. So
I don't even know why it was a debate. He should have just been chucked in there from the start. I think their offensive line's good enough to protect him for a bit. But good news for the Bears fans anyway.
Yeah, I think the fact that they just even announced it does so much for Fields, just so he can focus on his game now instead of having to worry about is he sitting on the bench, is he second string or is he first string for that week. I just think mentally it's good for him, and obviously it paid off this week with the win against the Raiders, who are a tough squad. I mean, they're not a scrub, are they? They're not like the Giants or the Dolphins or the Jets. So it's going to be exciting to see how he does this year. Don't think anyone's expecting too much from him this year, but certainly for the Muzzy, as you said, I think he's the man they want.
Yeah, look, I think going forward, like there was no other choice. Like he had to be the guy, and I think it definitely, like as you said, it boosts his confidence now. To the point where he's just like, I'm the man. The organisation stands behind him. I'm sure he goes out and parties all the time in Chicago. He enjoys the nightlife out there.
Yeah.
No, very good. Well, moving on, we had one of the best games of the round, I thought.
What a cracker.
Los Angeles Chargers now, aren't they?
Might as well be San Diego. That was the last time they were relevant.
Yeah. 47 points to 42. I think this was like the most amount of times that a team scored 40-plus points for the Browns. They're the first team by scoring 40 to lose by scoring 40. Like, does that make sense? Like, they were like the first team to lose after scoring 40 points, which is insane. Like, it's a crazy game. Like, just a full-on slinging match.
Yeah.
And it all just came down to, really came down to who had possession last, really.
Yeah, it was a cracking game. Browns are good. I think they'll have a good season this year.
Yeah.
To back off what they had last year. Yeah. Like, and they had a really good season last year, and I think they'll probably back that up as well. Chargers, I don't know what to make of the Chargers. Like, their record says they're 4-1, but at the same time, like, I don't know if their defense can hold up against a lot of teams.
Well, I think the good news for the Chargers, though, Muzzy, is they found their quarterback. I mean, can't deny Herbert's going to be the man for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Well, I
as
think they
you say,
decided
Muzzy,
that. Like
they need to really tighten up on that defense if they want to really make themselves a massive threat to the other teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's again like I said, I think last week or the week before, they do remind us of the Kansas City Chiefs that they had, like the team that they had a couple of years ago, just all out offense and just try and do their best in defense. But I mean, I don't think that'll be happening too much.
Yeah. Look, there wasn't a lot of defense being played in here, but yeah, as Coxie said, Herbert looks the part at the moment. It'll be interesting when they come up against maybe even like Baltimore or those teams with a little bit tougher defense. It'll be interesting to see how they pull out after that.
Well, you think like Baltimore has a decent defense and then like a really good offense too.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think if you got a defense that's got that pressuring the quarterback mentality, I think it will definitely show Herbert's true colours. So I think those sort of games will make or break their season. But yeah, it's something about that. I know they're 4-1, but the 4-1 record just doesn't look like very stable. You know what I mean?
Herbert's only a rookie too this year. So I think really he's only played 5 NFL games in his career. So I think the more games he sort of gets under his belt, I think some teams might even be able to figure him out a little bit, and he's going to have to move to different parts of his game that he doesn't necessarily use on the day in, day out. So yeah, I agree with that, Muzzy. I think
because I don't know. I don't think his rush game's that effective. As in rushing on his own, not the running back rushing. Yeah. I think he's good at spinning out of the pocket, but I don't think he's not really that 1-2 quarterback. He's just very, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers sort of quarterback, just slings
deep
it. Yeah. So it'll be interesting here because notoriously they've played, subpar or average up against teams that press really high, like the Baltimore Ravens and a couple of other teams that apply a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I think it'll definitely test his sort of mobility in the pocket, especially with that rush sort of defense when they're coming over the top at him.
Yeah.
He's looking for people, but see what happens.
Well, before we move on, I've got a question for you boys that I'll pose. Would you rather see a game like this where it's high scoring, no defense, and still close, or would you rather see like a 17 points to 15 win, like with defense?
Well, I think it's like with all modern day sport, all the owners and all the players and all the organizations just think everybody wants to see points. I think people just want to see competitive games. And I think regardless of whether there's points or not, if it's scrappy, obviously no one wants to see it. But if it's calculated, the defense just is awesome at the same time as the offense being awesome, I think people want to see that. And that's
a well and truly balanced game.
And that's the issue that they're heading towards the NBA now as they continually adjust the rules to apply to the offensive teams.
Yeah.
And I actually really like, so the NBA's introduced the rule where you jumping into a defender is no longer a foul.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be a lot more effective going forward because they've started to realize that people want to see defense as well.
Also be effective if they actually call travels. Rather than the one-step gather and 70-step before you get to the hoop.
No, I'll tell you what, I'd have to agree with you 100% there, Muzzy. Like, you'd rather want to watch, I don't care if it's a low-scoring game or a high-scoring game, as long as it's competitive. But you'd have to say, like in those games like the Browns and the Chargers had, you couldn't say that each touchdown was, perfect. Like that, there would have been some soft touchdowns going in.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's a tight game defensively as well, you'd have to think that every touchdown that goes in, they had to work for it.
It just makes makes that touchdown feel like it was more valuable.
Yeah.
See, like from both your perspectives, that sounds more like a purist sort of fans like observation. Like I think games like this sort of are attractive to casual fans. Yeah.
I think they're also attractive in terms of you can put it in a highlights package and send that out, and it looks really, really good. Because you put it in the highlights package and you send that out, and everyone goes, "Oh, look at all these mad, touchdowns that they scored." While for the people that are diehards, which I don't think there's a lot of NFL casual fans anymore because it's been around for so long. It's hard to find those. Where it's people that have been watching for a long period of time that are seeing that now, and then they're not getting that same. They go, oh, okay, well that coverage was terrible, or they ran the wrong defense out against a rush or anything like that. And then it's easy to see those flaws.
I still think you see the occasional casual fan with the Oakland Raiders. The old Oakland Raiders shirts from the Culture Kings boys. You see that?
The true status of a casual fan.
If you wanted to look at it in a context closer to home, you look at the run that Penrith went on this year. They were scoring all those points in the regular season. Everyone was so excited about it. But the last 3 games of their year, when they played Parramatta, Melbourne, and then they beat the Rabbits, super tight games, and they were the most exciting games of the year.
Yeah.
So there's easily parts for both,
but again, I would say to that
for me, it's like the close games, the hard fought.
But that's the purist coming out and you saying that they were really good games, and for a casual fan, they'll be like, "Oh, that's boring." It's like
I think
to them, that's like them watching an MMA fight where it's just leg kicks the whole, and it's a split decision by the end, sort of thing. Like,
I don't think necessarily it is, because I think I think people like, for example, like in the NBA, people love it when someone gets blocked. It's not necessarily. I wouldn't equate that to a leg kick. I would equate it to rocking someone, possibly in a fight, just block using pure defense. But I think it's not necessarily I don't think it's a full purist view, because I think people do want to see, because I don't think everybody just wants to watch the NBA All-Star game. Do you know what I mean? I think if you're looking at that, like that viewership is quite low.
Yeah.
While the highlights, everybody watches the highlights. Like their highlights get heaps and heaps of views, while actually watching the game live or actually watching the full game, not a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think even
that red zone.
Yeah, I think even the casual fans though can sort of tell a quality game from one that isn't quality.
Yeah.
I think as long as the game's quality, you're going to attract people to watch it regardless of the score.
Oh yeah. So, I think for games like this, they'll attract the casual fan a bit more than a game, say like Cardinals and 49ers here. So, but anyway, we'll move on. We had the Tennessee Titans 37 over the Jacksonville Jaguars 19.
That was a bye week.
Pardon?
That was a bye week for the Titans.
Yeah, essentially.
Send out the second strings, boys.
Third longest streak in the NFL
in the
history. 20 straight losses for the Jags.
How do you boys think Trevor Lawrence is feeling about now after he's gone with such a good record over his whole high school?
I reckon his spending habits are probably through the roof. He's probably buying everything he can to make himself feel happy.
Yeah.
He's probably I guarantee he's probably got the best game set up. He's been out every night. Oh man. I'd say there'd be close to nothing left of his paycheck by now.
Oh, for sure. He would have got a good signing bonus though too, going number 1, didn't
he? Yeah, and he got a couple mil a year.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think his spending habits through the roof at the moment. And
he's just waiting for that rookie contract to finish up, so he can just go, fuck yous, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I actually think it's a great opportunity for him to be on a team that's so shit.
Yeah.
On the French.
Yeah, you're not wrong, because that'll sort of galvanise him to be.
Yeah, and there's
because it's not like he's playing poorly though. It's everything around him. So when he gets into a system that'll work.
Well, that's it. There's no pressure for him to take this team to the playoffs. He can just focus on his game, work on little things. And, if he's throwing the passes, making the passes, if the receivers aren't catching them, it's not on him. So I think
I
it's
think
a
that was
really,
that was the same for like Sam Darnold and when he was at the Jets and
yep,
even Joe Burrow last year, even though he I know he was injured for the majority of last year, but you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
they're in a shit enough situation where they can work on their craft
yeah.
and do their job properly. And then when they go into a system that works, they'll be fine.
That's it. And the Jaguars will probably get some good picks this year. So they could even start, looking at building around Trevor straight away if he sticks around long enough, that is.
They're going to have to do something because
look,
I reckon by the time that rookie contract's up, he's going to be getting a lot of offers.
I think he'll be gone by then. It's if there's ever an organization that just shows how hard tanking can be and how in the NFL it really only works in special situations, it's got to be the Jaguars. Yeah. I can't remember the last time they were half decent. I can't remember the last time they went on a playoff run.
Put it this way, I don't think any
got into the wild card spot.
Yeah, I can't. Was it when Gardner Minshew was there that they did all right for they got 4 or 5 wins in a row or something?
Oh
yeah.
The mustache.
I think when Blake Bortles was there, I think they had one run where they got close to a wild card spot.
But even then, there was
and every year from then they've tanked. Nothing. It's just not changing. There's got to be some kind of culture problem going on in there because you can't just keep wasting all those draft picks.
I think the other thing is they're a small market team though too, so it's hard to attract decent players to that organization, especially when other players can't see what they're building towards.
Yeah, that's true.
They're going to struggle for a while.
How do you feel about the idea of them trading Lawrence?
Well, yeah, it depends what they get
draft
from
picks.
Too.
They get the number 1 this year. They trade him, get a couple more.
I think they can't until his rookie contract's up.
He has to do at least 2 years on his rookie contract, doesn't he?
Yeah. So it would have to be
I'm not sure.
Yeah. So it's a similar restricted thing to the NBA where they can't sign recently signed rookies. But look, they trade him away, but I think you trade him away, you got to be looking for 3 consecutive years of first round picks because he's your future. I mean, they haven't had it.
Worth it.
Yeah, well, but even then, I don't know if he's worth it because they need a generational quarterback in order to get him out. Because I don't think they're going to get out by having a half decent quarterback and building everything else around it.
Yeah,
I just don't see
they'll be in the same situation.
Yeah.
So do you boys think Trevor Lawrence is a generational quarterback?
I think he's got.
I think he has the potential to be.
I think he's got the potential to be, and I think it's too soon to pull that. I think he'll be really good in the NFL, and I think it's really hard to find even good quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah,
I mean, we've seen a lot of teams hanging on to aging quarterbacks because they can't find anyone else.
Yeah, I think the Jacksonville Jags will probably their best bet is to sort of hold on to him for as long as they can and get him involved in the front office and what players they're getting in. And asking him his opinion on it to make him feel like he's got a big say, as opposed to Aaron Rodgers over there.
I think that's the only way. That's the only way you keep him, but
But I think they'll do it. I think they'll try that just to keep him there.
Yeah, give him more control because that's the only way you're going to keep him there.
Yeah, give him a general manager junior role.
But do you reckon they'll do that with a rookie quarterback? I know he's a generational talent, but do you reckon they put that much faith in him to?
Well, you still got to think he's made it there already so far.
Yeah,
he's made it to the NFL. He's got to have some, and he's a quarterback. He's got to have some kind of knowledge about who he wants around him, and who he wants catching the ball and everything like that.
Yeah.
So,
but to back off what you're saying, Roscoe, I don't think it matters that he's a rookie because they're so far past having a leader. That it doesn't even matter if he comes in and he's a rookie and he's the leader.
Yeah, so it's not if he was going to Pittsburgh or Green Bay.
It's still better than any leaders that they have currently. So
yeah, true. Very good. Moving on, we had the Philadelphia Eagles 21 over the Carolina Panthers 18. Where did this come from?
So happy. Dominant performance, really. Never
Dominant, you won by 3 points. You can't say dominant
We've
performance
been
if they win
building
by
this for
3.
a while.
It's a field goal.
This is where our season starts with a nice solid win.
I hope you lose everything from here on out. Seriously.
The defense kept us in it because without their 3 intercepts, we'd probably get blown.
Yeah, it's the only thing that's keeping you in games at the minute. It's the defense.
Yeah, our offenses looked all right. It was all right last week. It just we just can't get everyone going at the same time, I don't think. But mate, Panthers have been going pretty good this year, so that's a good team to get a win against. I'm happy with the result.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, it's a good result against a team like that.
Who do you think, Snako, is your standout player to get those 2 wins that he's had so far? I know 2 wins isn't much, but considering last season, who do you think is the standout player to help you get there?
You can't say the Australian.
Honestly, I don't think any one person's standing up. I think, honestly, I couldn't name one because we're struggling just to connect all
Do you
across
want me to bring
the
up
park.
the team
We
list so you
make
can
dumb
name
moves.
someone?
Like everyone's making stupid decisions. What's that? Sorry.
So did you want me to bring up the team list so you can pick someone? Just a random.
No, I'm good, thanks, mate. No, I'm pretty good. Yeah, we just we're winning and losing as teams at the minute. Like we're making mistakes all across the board. So
yeah,
I don't know, and I don't also know where we go to build from here because I don't think if we necessarily went out and got a good quarterback, I don't think that wins us too many more games than what we're winning at the minute. So,
mate, you had a good quarterback. You let him go.
Yeah, well, he was shit if you ask anyone, but not if you ask me. I thought he was great.
Nah, very good. Moving on, we had the Steelers finally getting a win, 27-19 over the Denver Broncos. Big Ben finally got his shit together.
Yeah. No, it was good. We had the rookie starter running back. He played awesome. You can see there, Harris. Super impressed with him. Like we always seem to draft super good running backs and then just let them go. So, look, we played well. I still think we've got to get rid of Ben, and we should have got rid of him 3 years ago.
3 years ago,
I don't know why we're holding on, why we're not looking for another draft. A quarterback prospect. We've got enough picks. We've got stuff to trade, and we're just not. I don't know why we're bothering that. Another good game for Juju Smith-Schuster as well. He played awesome. He's really adjusting into that sort of main wide receiver role, like it's been the number one option. And I think he's doing really well with that. So it's good to see him out there.
Do you reckon? Sorry to stop you there, mate. Do you reckon they should just start getting Dwayne Haskins to start these games?
I don't think he's the answer either, to be honest. No,
he certainly wasn't for Washington.
I just don't think. I don't think he fits in well with the offensive coordinator because they run it like a very different style, and like Ben's very, down the narrow. He does everything. Haskins loves to get out and just play.
Yeah,
which I think they can be, but they got to restructure everything in order to do it.
Yeah,
and I think to do that, they should have just said from the start, we're going with him. I don't think he's a player you can just like sub in, when Ben gets tired in the third or whatever, or sub him in like give him a game here or there. I think they got to readjust into the whole offensive line to sort of fit his play style.
Yeah,
but. Look, I think it might be. It's worth trying. I don't know why we're bothering this year. I would have just scrapped Ben at the start of the year and just tried it. But I think the coaches are just afraid of him and don't want to say anything to him. So they're just going to go along with whatever he says until he says, I've had enough.
So what's your thoughts on if they, obviously with Benny staying as QB, what do you think the highest the Steelers can go with Ben as the QB this year?
This year?
Yeah.
Wild card playoff spot.
Yeah.
That's probably the highest we can go. Our division's stacked. Browns are going to be good again this year. Baltimore's going to be good again this year. Our division's stacked. I don't like the best by far we can do is a wild card spot, and I think we'll lose that anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't. That's why I don't see the purpose in doing it. Like they think that he will carry, but I don't. He's not going to. There's no way they're going to make it through the second round. So yeah, that's the thing for me. I don't see the purpose in doing it. They just need to bite the bullet and just go, yeah, right. Yeah, well, we're going to wait around and see what happens.
Band-Aid off.
Yeah, but knowing the Steelers, he'll be back next year. So.
Righty-ho, moving on. We had the Green Bay Packers 25 over the Cincinnati Bengals 22. This is the sort of game that we're talking about with proper defense and good offense too.
Yeah.
Packers getting the win. Aaron Rodgers still on that role of just getting it done when he needs to.
Yeah. Unlucky for the Bengals, I think, they started 3-0. And they looked really good this year. I think they'll still have
really good too.
Yeah, I think they'll definitely have a decent season. I think they might go in for that wild card spot. But I think it's definitely looking up for them for a franchise that's struggled for a long time now. It's starting to look up for them, and they've had a good start to the season. And Packers 4-1 again. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is just timeless. What can you say?
Yeah, no, I don't think there's too much else you can say. Like he's looking so much older though too. Like, have you seen his hair? It's like all grey, long as well. It just looks weird, and that filthy mustache too.
Considering their first game of the year when they got absolutely pumped, they've looked really good since.
Well, sometimes that's all it takes is a game like that to sort of turn your season around.
Yeah.
You can also do the opposite thing and send you down on a downward spiral too. So, no, they keep continuing on, and I'm sure that they'll be pretty much top of their conference to a division, I should say. So, yeah, moving on, we had Tampa Bay Buccaneers absolutely smacking the Miami Dolphins around 45 points to 17. Brady with 400 plus passing yards and 5 passing touchdowns for the first time in his career as well.
At age 44. Absolute monster. Yeah, wow.
I think this says more about the Dolphins than it does the Buccaneers.
Yes. I mean, who had after last season, the Dolphins looked so good. And this season, they look like Dolphins of old. Like,
I haven't gone good this year.
What's that?
So we can blame
I
you
haven't
then.
gone good this year. I backed him in early. I thought they were going to be good.
What is the problem, guys? We found it.
The curse strikes again.
I also said at the end of last year that they should get rid of their quarterback. But
yeah, look, Chua's, I think they're saying he might be back next week, which would definitely be a big boost for them. He's been out for a couple of weeks now after that injury. But yeah, look, didn't have him this.
Still their backup?
I think so. I don't know. It's a good question.
Can't see. Good bit of silence here, boys. Running back. Surely they just have
awesome. You might have to go stats. Maybe.
Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, so they're possibly talking about Chua being back. He's definitely their future, but I didn't see this kind of capitulation coming out of them, considering how good they were last year. And I don't think it had anything to do with the quarterback. So, no, I think there's some troubling signs in Dolphin land. I think they're a lot further behind than what they thought.
Yeah,
considering that their defense was pretty decent last year too.
But their offense was able to generate even without like having a starting quarterback for like half the games. They were still able to generate like decent offense. This year it's another case like the Kansas City. Like, who knows what's going on?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No, very good. Well, moving on, we had the Patriots 25 over the Texans 22. Patriots knuckling out a tough win. Yeah, look, I don't know what both teams are struggling at the minute too, so it could have been anyone's game this game.
Yeah.
Considering that we thought the Texans might be all right this year too, so.
Yeah, I thought the Texans were going to be all right this year.
Yeah, another very similar situation, I think, to the Dolphins, where they thought they were a lot closer than what they were after last year.
Moving on, we had the New Orleans Saints getting back on the winning run, 33 over the Washington football team 22. Good win for the Saints to get back into their winning ways.
Yeah, I think they needed another win after that loss to the Giants.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody really expects to lose to the Giants, and they did. So I think, they needed that.
Big kick in the bum, that one.
Yeah, might have waken them up.
No, very good. Next game, we had the Vikings scraping out one of the closest wins in a long time, like 54-yard field goal with like as the Hooters sounded. So tough way to lose for Detroit, but you got to be able to hold them out to get the win. So really unlucky. I don't know if you guys saw. I don't know if you guys saw the Detroit Lions head coach at the end of the game in the press conference, but he was crying for it, like bawling his eyes out, like knowing how close they came to a win.
I think this gives you a good idea of just how important Stafford was for this team. For the Lions, I think it really shows. For like a long time now, they've had winning records, and it really shows a lot of it was to come down to him, because I don't think they're going to come close to a winning record this year.
No, it's going to be really tough for them.
I think it really makes you appreciate him as a quarterback. I think he was very underrated for a long time.
And like he's proving that when he's playing for the Rams too,
and
how well they're going at the minute.
Yeah.
Moving on, we had the Atlanta Falcons getting the win over the New York Jets, 27 points to 20. Not much to take from this game. We're playing the Jets. We should expect to win that one.
Did you party, Roscoe, or what?
Hey? Oh, yeah, of course.
Did you party?
Yeah, did I party?
Super happy.
You know I did. I danced around the room naked. Got the win. All about the win. Look, it's gonna be a tough year for both teams. I think it's like Falcons don't offer much, and Jets haven't offered anything in years. So, moving on, we had the LA Rams winning 26 points to 17 over the Seattle Seahawks. Another good win for the Rams, continuing that good string of form. Good run.
Yeah, good win for the Rams after the disappointment last week. They bounced back strong. Look really good. As we said, we gave a shout out to Matt Stafford. Yeah, I mean he's really shone for them. Really turning it on for them. Seahawks just continue to not look a shell of themselves.
I suppose it didn't help when what's the QB's name again? Russell Wilson went off with that finger dislocation. But then I forget the bloke that came on for him. He actually got a touchdown drive as soon as he came on.
Yeah, as soon as he came on, wasn't it?
Yeah, which I thought that was very impressive, because considering where they were starting from too.
Yeah.
Geno Smith.
The old Jets quarterback. Look, Russell Wilson, he'll have a week where he played awesome, and I think he started this game really well too. They'll have a week where he plays awesome, and then all of a sudden the whole offensive line just seems to struggle. Which I think was where you get those other two losses from. Like they're so inconsistent, the Seahawks, but I think they can cause a few upsets coming towards the end of the season.
Well, they're in a good enough division where they can still scrape through too.
Yeah.
Like I don't think there's too many teams that are in their division that'll be too big a threat. But I think they're expecting Russell Wilson to be out for a little while with that dislocated finger because it's on his throwing hand.
Yeah, right.
So I think they said he has to have surgery on it, but what they'll do, we won't know until the end of the week, sort of thing. So
Yeah.
and that's just about wraps up the results so far. Have we got a prediction for the Ravens Colts game?
I'll go on Ravens. They've looked good to start.
Ravens.
They've looked good for the last couple of years.
I think
I wouldn't be surprised if they score 30 plus in this game.
Yeah, they look good to start the season. Colts have been a bit disappointing this year. I thought their defense would be a lot better than what it's been. But yeah, it'll be interesting. Interesting to see how it goes. I think Lamar Jackson might have a field day.
I'm tipping Colts
I
for an
would be
upset.
surprised. Yeah,
What's that?
Colts for an upset, boys, I reckon.
Yeah, you got Colts?
what's for the upset?
For the upset.
You're crazy.
Crazy
Right, boys.
things have happened.
That just about wraps up episode 51 of the Pick 199 podcast. We thank you for listening. We'll see you next
Thanks,
time.
guys.
Play it easy.
Thank you.
You.